How to help the family overcome the storm. The strength of prayer in building a happy family. We all dream of a happy family, a home where laughter echoes, love binds us, and everyone feels safe and seen. In our fast-moving world, though, that vision can feel like a distant star. Life gets messy. Kids argue, parents stress, and time slips away. Misunderstandings pile up, patience frays, and sometimes we forget to show the care we feel. When that happens, the foundation of family life starts to wobble. Good intentions alone won't hold it steady. We need something stronger, something sacred. That's where prayer steps in. Prayer isn't just words whispered in a quiet moment. It's a lifeline that ties us to each other and to something greater. It's a tool, simple yet profound, that can transform a family from a group of individuals into a united, resilient whole. In this essay, we'll dive deep into how prayer builds happiness in a family. We'll explore its role in fostering understanding, healing wounds, creating traditions, facing challenges, and growing together spiritually. Whether you're raising kids, navigating sibling dynamics, or strengthening a marriage, prayer offers a path to peace and connection. Let's walk through it together. The role of prayer in family life. Imagine a typical evening at home. The TV's blaring, phones are pinging, and everyone's juggling their own little world. Homework, deadlines, worries. It's chaos, right? Prayer cuts through that noise like a gentle hand on the shoulder. It's a chance to pause, breathe, and gather as a family. When you pray together, you're not just talking to God, you're talking to each other, even if indirectly. It's a moment that says, we're in this together. I saw this firsthand with my cousin's family a few years back. They were going through a rough patch. My cousin lost his job, their teenage daughter was acting out, and the tension was thick. One night, they decided to try something different. Before dinner, they sat in their cramped living room, held hands, and prayed. It wasn't polished, just a few honest words. Help us through this. Keep us kind. They kept it up, night after night. Slowly, the air in their house changed. The fights didn't stop, but they got shorter. The silence softened into conversations. Prayer didn't fix everything overnight, but it gave them an anchor, a shared space to lean on. That's what prayer does. It builds a bridge. It connects family members to a higher power and, in the process, to each other. It's a reminder that we don't have to carry life's weight alone. Whether you're asking for strength, giving thanks, or just sitting in stillness, prayer invites peace into your home. It's like opening a window on a stuffy day. Suddenly, there's room to breathe. And with that breath comes blessings, protection, patience, and a quiet confidence that your family is held by something bigger. Understanding each other through prayer. Families are a beautiful mess of differences. Every person brings their own story, joys, fears, quirks, and all. That diversity is what makes a family special, but it's also why we clash. Parents see the world one way, kids another. Spouses misread each other's signals. Take a common scene, a dad trying to talk to his 15-year-old daughter. He asks about school. She rolls her eyes and retreats to her room. He's frustrated, thinking she's rude. She's annoyed, feeling smothered. They're both right in a way, but they're missing each other's hearts. Prayer can mend that disconnect. It's not a magic wand, but it's a start. Picture that same family sitting down to pray. Maybe dad says, "Thank you for my daughter's spirit, even when I don't get it." Maybe she mutters, "Help me not feel so trapped." No one's forcing a big talk, just sharing a piece of themselves. Over time, those little prayers chip away at the walls. They create a space where it's okay to be real, okay to listen. I've seen this work wonders. A friend of mine grew up with 4 siblings, and their house was loud. Constant bickering over toys, chores, who got the bigger slice of pizza. Their mom started a rule. Every night, they'd pray together. Each kid got to say something, even if it was silly, like, "Bless my goldfish." But sometimes, deeper stuff slipped out. "Help me not fight with Jake. Thanks for Mom's hugs." It wasn't therapy, it was simpler than that. Yet it taught them to hear each other. Years later, my friend says those prayers are why they're still close. Prayer didn't erase their differences. It helped them embrace them. The power of forgiveness. No family escapes mistakes. We snap when we're tired, forget promises, or hurt each other by accident. Those slip-ups sting, and if we hold on to them, they fester. A grudge between siblings can turn a shared room into a battlefield. A spouse's sharp words can linger like a splinter. Without forgiveness, love gets buried under resentment. Prayer lights the way back. Think of two brothers, maybe 10 and 12, sharing a bike. The younger one takes it without asking and crashes it into a ditch. The older one's furious. It's his bike, his pride. They yell, shove, and stop talking. Days drag on, and the house feels colder. Now imagine their mom calls them to pray that night. She doesn't lecture, just guides them. Let's ask for peace. The younger one mumbles, "Sorry I broke it." The older one sighs, "Help me not stay mad." It's awkward, messy, human, but it works. Prayer doesn't undo the crash, it heals the rift. I've lived this too. My sister and I once fought over something dumb, a borrowed dress I ruined. We didn't speak for weeks. It ate at me, but I was too stubborn to budge. One night, I prayed alone. Take this anger off my chest. The next day, I called her. She laughed, said she'd prayed too. We met up, hugged it out, and moved on. Prayer didn't make me apologize. It made me want to. It reminded me she's worth more than a dress. That's its power. It softens us, nudges us toward grace. Creating a family prayer ritual. Rituals are the heartbeat of a home. They give us something to count on, a rhythm that says, this is who we are. A family prayer ritual can be that pulse, simple or grand, whatever fits. Maybe it's a quick thank you before dinner, hands clasped around the table, or a Sunday night circle where everyone shares a hope or a worry. It's less about the how and more about the when. Doing it together, again and again. My neighbors have a ritual I adore. Every evening, rain or shine, they pile onto their front porch swing. Parents, 2 kids, even the dog. They pray for 5 minutes. Thanks for today. Help us tomorrow. The kids wiggle, the dog barks, but they stick with it. Now it's their thing. If someone's late, the littlest one tugs their sleeve. Swing time. It's not just prayer, it's their glue. Years from now, those kids will remember the creak of that swing and the sound of their parents' voices. You can make it yours. If mornings work, pray over coffee or cereal. If nights are better, dim the lights and gather on the couch. Add a twist, light a candle, play a soft song, let the youngest lead. One family I know passes a small stone around. Whoever holds it prays next. It's playful but sacred. These moments don't just build faith, they build memories. They tell your family, this is our time, our space. And that belonging, it's gold. Facing life's challenges together. Life doesn't play fair. A job vanishes, a loved one falls ill, a pipe bursts and floods the basement. Alone, those hits can knock us flat. Together with prayer, they're bearable. I think of a family down the street whose mom got sick, really sick. The diagnosis came like a thunderclap, and they were reeling. But every night they prayed. Sometimes in her hospital room, sometimes at home, always together. They'd say, give us strength. Keep her with us. Some nights they broke down mid-sentence. Others, they'd end up laughing over some old story she'd told. She's better now, and they swear those prayers carried them through, not just her recovery, but their sanity. Prayer doesn't always change the outcome. It changes us. When a family prays in a crisis, they're not just asking for a miracle, they're forging a bond. Each voice adds something. I'm scared, but I'm here. We'll figure this out. It's a team huddle in the storm, even for smaller stuff. Like a tight budget or a kid struggling at school, prayer shifts the vibe. Instead of panic, there's purpose. Help us find a way. Show us the next step. It turns me into we. I've leaned on this too. When my dad's business tanked, our house was tense, bills piling up, tempers flaring. One night he called us to the kitchen table. We prayed, stumbling over words, get us through this. It didn't pay the mortgage, but it calmed us. The next day, we brainstormed as a family, cut costs here, hustle there. Prayer didn't solve it alone. It rallied us to solve it together. Building a supportive community. A strong family doesn't stand alone. It's woven into a bigger tapestry. Friends, neighbors, a faith group, they're the extra hands when yours aren't enough. Prayer opens that door. Joining a church potluck or hosting a prayer night pulls others in. I saw this with my uncle's family after a fire gutted their garage. Their synagogue didn't just send sympathy, they prayed with them, rebuilt with them. That community became their backbone. You can start small. Invite a couple families over. Pizza, kids running wild, a quick prayer to close the night. Or join a local group, pray with strangers who become friends. My friend's family started going to a weekly prayer circle. At first it was awkward, new faces, stilted hellos. Now they've got aunts and uncles who check in, drop off soup, cheer at soccer games. That web of support lifts everyone. It's proof that prayer doesn't just build your family, it builds your village. The importance of gratitude. Gratitude is a game changer. Life's full of gripes, spilled milk, late buses, sibling squabbles. It's easy to stew in that. Prayer flips it around. When you thank God as a family, you start seeing the good. Thanks for the sunshine. Thanks for Dad's awful singing. It's not ignoring the bad, it's balancing it. Try this. During prayer, let everyone name one thing they're grateful for. My cousin's family does it daily. One night, their son said, "I'm glad my teacher didn't yell today." His sister chimed in, "I'm glad he didn't steal my fries." They laughed, and that laughter stuck. Over time, they've trained themselves to spot the bright spots. The house still gets loud, but it's a happier loud. Gratitude doesn't fix everything. It makes everything feel lighter. I've tried it too. After a rotten day, car trouble, work stress, I prayed with my roommate. "Thanks for the coffee that got me through." She added, "Thanks for you not yelling about the dishes." We grinned, and the day didn't seem so bad. It's a habit worth building. Encouraging spiritual growth. A family that grows spiritually stays rooted. It's not about being holy rollers, it's about exploring faith together. Read a verse and chew on it. What does love your neighbor look like for us? Serve food at a shelter, then pray for the folks you met. Let kids wonder aloud, why is the world so messy? Those questions don't need perfect answers, they need space. My grandma used to do this with us. She'd pull out her tattered Bible, read a story, David and Goliath maybe, and ask, "What's brave mean to you?" We'd ramble, spilling juice on the table, but she'd listen. Those nights weren't just about God, they were about us growing up, curious and kind. Now I crave that with my own crew. It's messy, real, and lasting. Practical tips for family prayer. Here's how to weave prayer into your days. Set a regular time, pick a slot. 5 minutes at breakfast, 10 at night. Make it stick. Make it personal. Let everyone toss in a line. A dream, a fear, a thanks. Be inclusive. No one's forced. Listening's enough if words don't come. Use visual aids. A candle, a photo, a stone, something to hold or see. Keep a prayer journal. Scribble down prayers. Flip back later and marvel at the journey. Conclusion. A long, beautiful road to a happy family. Building a happy family isn't something you can rush through like a quick errand. It's a long, winding journey. More like a cross-country road trip than a dash to the finish line. There are going to be bumps along the way. Moments where you lose the map, times when you're stuck in the mud, and days when you wonder if you'll ever reach that sweet spot where everyone feels connected and whole. But here's the thing. It's not about being perfect or having all the answers. It's about showing up day after day with your heart open and your hands ready to hold the ones you love. And if there's one steady light to guide you through the twists and turns, it's prayer. Think of prayer as your trusty old compass. Nothing fancy, but it always points you back to what matters. It's not some magic fix that makes every argument disappear or every tear dry up instantly. No, it's quieter than that, and stronger too. It's the whisper in the chaos that reminds you to listen when you'd rather yell, to forgive when you'd rather hold a grudge, and to keep going when you're tempted to give up. It's the glue that binds you together when everything else feels like it's falling apart. A family that prays isn't just surviving the storm. It's planting seeds for something beautiful. Something that grows deep roots and stretches toward the sun, spilling warmth and hope into every corner of your life. Let's be real for a second. Family life can get messy. Kids spill juice on the couch 5 minutes after you've cleaned it. Spouses forget the little things that matter most. Siblings bicker over who gets the last slice of pizza. And sometimes the bigger stuff hits, misunderstandings that cut deep, seasons of silence that stretch too long, or losses that leave you wondering how you'll ever feel whole again. In those moments, it's easy to think happiness is some far-off dream, like a postcard from a place you'll never visit. But it's not. Happiness isn't a destination. It's the small, brave steps you take together, even when the path is rocky. And prayer? It's the hand on your shoulder, the voice in your ear saying, "You've got this. You're not alone." Start where you are. That's the beauty of it. You don't need a grand plan or a picture-perfect family to begin. Gather your people around the kitchen table, or pile onto the couch with popcorn and blankets, or even just sit in the car together after a long day. Speak what's on your heart. It doesn't have to be polished or poetic. Maybe it's a simple, "Thanks for being here," or a quiet, "I'm sorry I messed up," or even a shaky, "I don't know how to fix this, but I want to try." That's prayer in its rawest form, honest words lifted up, trusting that something bigger than you is listening. And when you do that together, something shifts. Walls come down, hearts soften. You start to see each other not just as the roles you play, mom, dad, kid, partner, but as souls on the same journey, needing love and grace just as much as you do. I've seen it in my own life, in the small moments that stick with you. Like the time my dad, a man of few words, sat us all down after a tough week and just said, "Let's ask for some help." We bowed our heads, and he stumbled through a prayer about keeping us close, even though money was tight and tempers were short. It wasn't fancy, but it was real. And I remember feeling lighter afterward, like the air in the room had changed. Or the nights my sister and I, after years of drifting apart, started texting each other little prayers. Nothing long, just thinking of you. Hope you're okay. It wasn't a big production, but it built a bridge where there'd been a gap. That's what prayer does. It doesn't erase the hard stuff, but it makes a way through it. Now, don't get me wrong, prayer isn't a cure-all. It's not like you say a few words and suddenly everyone's singing around a campfire, holding hands. Life's still going to throw curveballs. You'll still have days where you wonder if you're doing this family thing right, where the laundry piles up and the arguments flare and you're too tired to even think about sitting down together. But that's where grace comes in. Building a happy family isn't about never falling. It's about getting back up, dusting yourself off, and saying, "Okay, let's try again." Prayer gives you the strength to do that. It's the deep breath you take before you apologize, the pause before you snap, the quiet moment that reminds you why you're in this to begin with. And here's something I've learned along the way. A family that prays doesn't just hold together, they grow. They bloom in ways you didn't expect. It's not always loud or obvious. Sometimes it's in the little things, like the way your kid starts checking in on you because they've seen you care for them, or how your partner reaches for your hand during a tough conversation because they know you're in it together. It's the laughter that creeps back in after a fight, the stories you tell over dinner that turn into traditions, the way love starts to spill out beyond your walls and into the world around you. That's the magic of it. Not perfection, but presence. Being there, fully, with each other and with something greater. So where do you start? Right now. Today. You don't need to wait for the right moment or the perfect setting. Call your people together, whether it's 2 of you or 10, and just begin. Say what's true for you. Maybe it's gratitude for the roof over your head, or a plea for patience when you're at your wit's end, or a hope for the days ahead. Let it be messy and real. Let it be yours. And then trust that the rest will follow, not all at once, not without effort, but step by step. Because a family that prays isn't just enduring the grind, they're weaving a tapestry of light and love, thread by thread, through every season. I think about the families I've known who've walked this road. The ones who've made it through the darkest nights, not because they had it all figured out, but because they held on to each other and to something bigger. Like my neighbor, a single mom who'd sit on her porch every evening with her boys, praying for strength to get through another day. They didn't have much, but they had each other, and you could feel the peace in their little circle. Or my friend who lost his dad and found his way back to his mom and sisters, through quiet nights of remembering and praying together. It didn't fix the pain, but it made a space for healing. That's what prayer does. It carves out room for hope, even when the world feels heavy. And you're not alone on this road either. Wherever you are, whatever your family looks like, big or small, loud or quiet, broken or blooming, you've got a starting point. Take that step. It doesn't have to be big. Maybe it's a prayer whispered in the dark as you tuck your kids in, or a moment of silence with your spouse before the day begins, or a phone call to someone you've lost touch with, just to say, I'm here. That's enough. That's where the joy begins to unfold, not in some far-off future, but right here in the small, sacred act of reaching out. So go ahead, gather your people, speak from your soul. Trust that the compass of prayer will guide you, not to a flawless life, but to a fuller one. A family that prays doesn't just make it through, they thrive, spilling love and light into every corner, not because they're perfect, but because they're together. And that's the real beauty of it. You don't have to have it all together to start. You just have to show up. One step, one word, one heart at a time. Watch what happens. Watch the joy grow. You're on your way, and it's going to be a beautiful ride. After watching, remember to like, subscribe to the channel, and comment on the video. I have many good videos to share. Learn to give, and God will give peace to you and your family.